Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's Rufy Star here, and today I'm going to speculate the bounties of the warlords. But before we begin, I want to warn you guys about spoilers. I am going to use and talk about the developments that have took place in the manga. So if you don't want to get spoiled, then do check the last part of the video where I will be putting their posters all together. I will also leave a timestamp in the comments. But for ones who are up to date with the manga, do consider watching this video from start to end, as it will help and support me. Also, do not forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's begin. After the time skip, the existing members of the Warlords were revealed, exactly in chapter 700. The members included Dracula Mihawk, Boa Hancock, Don Quixote Doflamingo, Bartholomew Kuma, Trafalgar Law, Edward Weevil, and Buggy the Clown. But after Dressrosa, two of them, Doflamingo and Law, were stripped off from the title because of the actions they took to accomplish their goals. Meaning, only 5 of them were warlords after the events of Dressrosa. And they also weren't privileged for so long, as Fujitora wanted the system to be abolished as he went to Marizua, just for the sole purpose to be fulfilled. We got to know about this fact in the last arc on Reverie. Then, shortly after the Reverie ended, we got to know that the warlord system was finally abolished in chapter 956, and to replace them once for all, a new technology was introduced, namely SSG, which stands for Special Science Group. So the Marines were into action to catch the existing warlords, sending different sets of forces to arrest and catch them. Following to that, in chapter 957, the Marines were said to have updated the bounties of the warlords. So with that in mind, let's start the prediction of the newly updated bounties of the warlords, or I should say the former warlords of the sea. Let's start with Dracula Mihawk, the world's greatest swordsman, the former legendary rival of Red-Hair Shanks, and the teacher of future world's greatest swordsman, Zoro. Everything there is to say about this man is not enough to cover him up. The man who is waiting for a swordsman who is even stronger than his one and only rival Shanks. It was also said that he was famous even before the great age of piracy started. To add on, recently in the Ace novel, by the way, which hasn't yet come out officially in English, it was said that the early big reputation Shanks built up was from dueling with Mihawk. At least that was what we learned from fan translations. Even without that, the foundation of the duels they had were truly legendary and grandly renowned, as even Whitebeard said that their duels was legendary, which could shook the whole Grand Line in the process. Now in current time, their rivalry has been long dead because of Shanks losing an arm. After time went by, Shanks became a Yonko and Mihawk became a warlord. Now to his bounty part. Considering his reputation, status, and overall pleasing him aside Shanks, I would assume his new active bounty to be around 3,096,000,000 bellies. This bounty might raise some questions and doubts around. That is why I'm working on a video topic about Mihawk, which will come soon, where I will also be explaining and justifying Mihawk's bounty. So do look forward to it. Next one is Boa Hancock. I think one of the most underrated character in One Piece is Boa. Many people do not think she is a very capable fighter or is in a high caliber, even though every warlords are special and very reputable in terms of strength and influence. So to defend Boa's reputation, I would like to talk about her in little more details. Boa is an amazing fighter who has all 3 types of Haki at her disposal, which is further stacked by an overpowered devil fruit, the Meru Meru no Mi, which can turn its opponent to a stone, who has a certain love or lost interest towards the user. And Boa just happens to be the perfect user for this particular devil fruit, as she is considered to be the most beautiful woman in the world. She is also quite powerful physically, as she was able to one-shot pacifistas casually, the same pacifista which the whole Straw Hats crew had to team up to defeat before the time skip. So in my personal opinion, she is commander level, and one of the strongest individual aside from the Yonkos. Surprisingly, the Marines have sent Kobe to capture her and the rest of the Kuza pirates. And personally, I do not think he's that strong to defeat and capture her. More of when you consider her to be commander level and also her crew backing her up in the battle between them. So that is kind of suspicious. But in my personal opinion, Kobe has presumably brought the SSG to support him capturing her. Or maybe even Fujitora might come to capture her personally. Anyways, coming to her bounty part. I think just taking how much strong and influential she is, her bounty should at least be raised by 500 million bellies on top of her frozen 80 million bellies, thus making her new bounty 580 million bellies. Next one is Edward Weevil, the self-proclaimed son of the strongest man, Whitebeard. Edward Weevil is a living monster as he goes on destroying the ally pirates of Whitebeard right and left. He has enormous strength and capabilities that even Kizaru himself said that he is like what his supposed father, Whitebeard, was in his younger days. But he is not at all like what his father Whitebeard was. He is stupid and slow-minded who is directly controlled by his mother and has no sense of drive coming from himself. Currently, he is searching for Marco and the rest of the commanders to get his hands on Whitebeard's fortune as he is his self-proclaimed son. So Marco, who is at the village where Whitebeard grew up, is protecting it from the likely threats of Weevil and other pirates. Now coming to his new bounty. We know it's going to increase by a good amount because of the reason that he is Whitebeard's son and also how powerful and dangerous he is. We also can draw his threat levels by his previous bounty of 480 million bellies. So right now, I think the Marine presumably doubled it because the more bounty, the more chance to capture him becomes possible, thus making his current bounty a huge amount of 960 million bellies. Next one is Buggy. Buggy is without a doubt a living legend, a man who could have been the pirate king at the age of 9, but decided to make Goldie Roger the king and started assisting him. Then the rest is history. Roger became the most successful pirate and was renowned as the Pirate King. Buggy was also so considerate that, not to ruin Roger's legacy as the king, he decided to not go to Laugh-Tale. And at the present time, he's a very successful pirate and was a warlord of the sea up to recently, which just indicates a little portion of his true powers. Honestly, even if they just want to have a chance in catching him, they at least need to send 3 admirals, Garp and Sengoku, which just speaks volume of how much of a legend and monster he is. Now enough with the jokes, let's talk about his new updated bounty. As we all know that his previous bounty was 15 million bellies, and that was before time skip. After that, he escaped Impel Down because of Luffy, was prisoned in Marineford War and escaped from there also, became the Warlord and gained quite a fame, and now is known as a living legend by the Marines themselves. So I'm pretty sure what is going to make his bounty rise very significantly, and it's going to be totally epic. Thus, I assume his new updated bounty is going to be around 400 million bellies. This new bounty is totally going to freak everyone, just like what happened to Usopp while he had a bounty of 200 million after Dressrosa. Next one is Kuma. We know that Kuma was inside Marijua, basically turned into a ride for celestial dragons. Honestly, the treatment he was given was so horrible to witness. And because of this sole reason, Sabo and the commanders of Revolutionary Army attacked Marijua and fought the 2 admirals. Now here's the catch. If the government still has hold of Kuma, I'm not sure his bounty would increase or be reevaluated, as he is already under them. But if the commanders manage to rescue him, then that's a problem for the government and the Marines. Also, the fact that he was working with the revolutionary armies will be a big news. So if he was rescued, then I would assume his bounty was at least raised by 300 million bellies on top of his frozen 296 million bellies, thus making his new bounty 596 million bellies. Now the last one is Doflamingo. As we know that Dofi was captured right after the events of Dressrosa and was later imprisoned in level 6 of Impel Down. So I'm pretty sure they didn't raise his bounty for now because it would be pointless as he has already been captured and imprisoned rightfully. So I will be making a hypothetical situation here that let's say Dofi was not captured and as expected his bounty was also increased with others. Then in my opinion his new bounty would be around 840 million bellies or even more. Considering that he's very dangerous and influential figure in the new world who has connections with Kaido and the underworld. So that was the bounty prediction of the Warlords or the former Warlords. And if you guys enjoyed this video, again do leave a like and comment down below. That would be very much appreciated. Also subscribe for more contents and I will get back to you guys in the next video. Thank you.